Hey everybody, welcome back to another Markiplier theory, and in this theory today, we're gonna be talking about Celine. And also, I guess I never really outright said this, but the reason I'm starting to put gameplay in the background of my Markiplier theories now is because a lot of my older Markiplier theories are starting to get copyright claimed all of a sudden, so I'm trying to prevent that from happening for any future theories. Unfortunately, with this new format, Markiplier theories take a more longer period of time to actually make, but hopefully you guys don't mind too much. In the meantime, I'm starting to make more of a variety of content, but don't worry, the Markiplier theories are not going away anytime soon. But with all that said, let's continue on with the video. So as some of y'all may remember, a while back I made this Markiplier theory where I pretty much went over and showed clips of a live stream Markiplier made where he does a lot of lore reveals and stuff in Who Killed Markiplier. He did a live stream where him and other people who helped him make it kind of explained lots of stuff about it. So I went over that and pretty much talked about how that impacts the bigger overall lore of the Markiplier cinematic universe. But there were a couple clips that I left out, a couple of them that were specifically for Celine that I wanted to turn into their very own video all about Celine. But before I get into those clips, I just want to recap everything we know about Celine's origin story and pretty much her whole storyline in general so far. So Celine is the twin sister of Damien. Damien and actor Mark were best friends ever since they were little kids, and Celine and actor Mark started dating, meaning that Celine started to live in Markiplier's mansion. Eventually, the Colonel stole Celine from actor Mark, mainly because actor Mark's a bit of an asshole. And then from there, actor Mark started doing lots of other crazy things that ended up making Darkiplier, a dead body that's possessed by both Celine and Damien, with a little bit of dark mansion house magic sprinkled in there. And everything I just talked about was either shown in Who Killed Markiplier or it was just off camera. So let's go ahead and get to the first clip I will be showing y'all today.
After she left, she started dabbling in dark arts and stuff like that, and started looking into, that's what she meant by she had her eyes open to a small portion of it. She started learning about the why, because if she lived here, when she lived here with Mark originally, she noticed that this house was off. She started noticing. She didn't grow up in this place like everybody else did. She just noticed it and she wanted to know more. She was curious. And then, again, she wanted to know the why of it.
Now, what Markiplier was confirming in that clip about how Celine started dabbling in, the dark arts and all that stuff after she left actor Mark, you can pretty much infer that based off of how her timeline goes, but, it's still good to have confirmation nonetheless. But anyways, moving on to this next clip I'll be showing y'all about Celine transforming into Darkiplier.
So a lot of people started to catch on as to what's going on. The way in the vision that we had, or I had, don't tell anybody, is this is the moment she's possessed. No, we all agreed on that. Yeah. She's possessed at this point. She is very clearly dabbled with something that was far beyond her control, and she went too far. Damien was in that room with her when that happened. This is where things went bad. Very, very bad. Okay, makes sense? Yep. Cool.
So Markiplier does say that Celine is possessed, but he doesn't say by what. Now I guess most people would assume that at the moment she's possessed by whatever supernatural forces are around the house. And although I do think a bit of the house entity is controlling her at that point in time, I also feel like due to the blue and red shades that maybe both Damien and Celine are stuck in Celine's body at that point in time. Because if we look at Darkiplier, the reason he has the blue and red shades on him is to represent both Damien and Celine, the red one for Celine and the blue one for Damien. So why would Celine already have those shades on her if that meant that she was possessed by both Celine and Damien? Then again, there's also a chance that that's not Celine's body, it's just Celine is the one who's controlling the body in that point in time. Because if we look back to the final chapter of Who Killed Markiplier, in the one scene where Markiplier says that the whole Damien video takes place, where we seen Darkiplier's hand reach out and grab the cane. Remember how it's the girl hand that grabs the cane before it switches to the man hand. Now, this is because the events of Damien happen inside of Darkiplier's head in that very second. That's already been confirmed by Markiplier himself. But this also technically means that whoever's in control of the Darkiplier body, even though there's two souls, only one of them can be in control at a time. And whichever one is in control is represented by the physical look of the body itself. So not only does this mean that there is a version of Darkiplier that is female and looks like Celine instead of Damien's body, but it also connects back to the reason I brought this clip up in the first place. Since we now know that if something is being controlled or possessed by a different spirit, it then physically looks different as well. That could mean that this technically doesn't have to be Celine's body. It can just mean that Celine's possessing Damien's body. That could be Damien's body technically. But to be honest, I don't think that's the case. I think that's just making things more complicated than it has to be. I'm willing to bet that's still Celine's body. But actually, all of this brings up one final big question. If we go back to the final chapter of Who Killed Markiplier, where we rise back up one final time as Darkiplier, and then we end up seeing the Colonel sitting down, and he pretty much just thinks that he was just responsible for your death, but then he's like, oh no, it's all a joke. How does he still think that that's you if at that point in time you technically look like Celine? I mean, afterwards, we quite literally see that you have a female hand. Since the two people that you're being possessed by at that point in time is Celine and Damien, you presumably look like Celine at that moment. But the way that the Colonel calls out Damien and Celine's name as he's walking away makes me think that he had no clue or didn't even realize that you look completely different. You look exactly like Celine. So what the heck is happening? Well, I have three solutions to this problem. The first solution is that the DA, also known as the person that you play as in Who Killed Markiplier, is actually a variant or an alter ego of Celine. I have a feeling that this is the most likely case scenario because we already know that there are Markiplier alter egos and Chef alter egos existing in the same universe, the same timeline. So it's not that far of a stretch to say that there are not only Celine alter egos, but that the DA is one of them. That would also help explain why the Colonel didn't question that you came back from the dead looking like Celine, because you already looked like Celine in the first place. So the second option is a lot more simpler. I am just overthinking this way too much. And for the third option, Markiplier just didn't think his own lore through. But I'm willing to bet that the first solution is right, and just the DA, the person we're playing as, is a Celine alter ego. Not only does that make us not have to retcon anything, but it just makes the most sense lore-wise. Wait a minute, but whenever we get shot by the Colonel, we quite literally see that we have the hands of a man. Okay, never mind, we can't be a Celine alter ego. We might have to boil it down to evil house magic stuff, but that just feels like more of a lazy excuse just to not retcon the lore. But at this point, I don't know. If you guys found something that I missed or have a solution that I just haven't thought of, make sure to put it in the comments below, and I will feature it in my next Markiplier theory. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy. And I already put this on the official Neo Nobody Instagram, but pretty much uploads are gonna be slowing down a lot at the moment. They'll pick back up later, but just for now, they're gonna start really slowing down. I'm not here to be a drama queen or complain about my personal life or anything like that, so I'm not gonna be going in depth on why. But in the meantime, check out Taciturn if you haven't already. But I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.